Welcome back. To shed more light on this issue, we are delighted to be joined over the phone by Mr. Ahmed Kattab, economic expert. Good evening, sir.
Good evening to all of you.
Thank you for joining us on this program. So, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi emphasized increasing the private sector's role in development and after years of state-led mega projects. So, what concrete steps can investors expect to see that signal a genuine shift towards privatization and leveling the playing field?
Yes, first of all, the President Sisi sent a lot of key message to the Egyptian citizenman and the Egyptian businessman and all the world during the OECD meeting. Today, President Fattah al-Sisi meeting with Corman, Secretary General of the Organization for the Economic Cooperation and Development, reflects a strategic shift in the Egypt economic policy from stabilization to structural transformation. Egypt is no longer only managing short-term shocks. It is now aligned its policy with OECD standards to enhance competitiveness, attract investment, and empower the private sector as the main engaging of growth. The OECD is a policy institution, not lender like the International Monetary Fund. It is a global benchmark in governance, anti-corruption, tax policy transparency, investment framework. Egypt's country program with OECD equal a roadmap for reform. Working with the OECD improves Egypt's international credibility and investor confidence. Egypt implemented major reform, exchange rate liberalization, subsidy reform, fiscal consolidation, and still we face some challenge like inflation pressure, external debt, global economic uncertainty. Egypt has completed the first phase of reform, but the real test now is sustainable growth, and this is our aim in the future. Investment and the private sector will take place in the coming phase. Government targeted increase financial FDI inflow, rise the private sector contribution to 65%, and this is a great percentage to the private sector to be participate in the economy of Egypt. Key action, golden license for investors, reducing state footprint, supporting SMEs, and supporting SMEs is the main objective in the future. The state is shifting from operator to regulator, and that's critical for sustainable growth. Economy and the future, focus area, renewable energy, solar energy, wind energy, green hydrogen projects, sustainable infrastructure. Egypt positioning itself as a regional energy hub, especially for liquid gas. And Egypt will be gateway between Africa and Europe and the Middle East. And this is a great opportunity for Egypt to invest more and more with Europe and more with Africa. A global context also, world facing supply chain disruptions during the Iran and USA war, inflation wave, geopolitical tension. Egypt's strategy is diversified partner, integrated into a global value chain, aligned with institutions like OECD. In a fragment global economy, alignment with institutions like the OECD is a strategic necessity, not a luxury. And this is why Egypt today is the city with the OECD
yes.
General Secretary, because it reflects the very strong position of the Egypt economy, especially in this very hard situation in Middle East during the war between Iran and USA. It comes as a critical moment where Egypt is shifting from crisis management to a long-term economic comprehensive policy credibility, better governance standards, and stronger investors' confidence, not types of funding, but long-term value. And this is we're looking for the value. Yes, reform come with the short-term costs like inflation, but the goal is long-term stability, job creation, and income growth. Job creation is the main target for this city in order to improve the income of living for every Egyptian citizen and every Egyptian family.
Yes, this is one of the social aspects of the reform which was highlighted and stressed by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi.
Yes. A lot of subsidies will be presented to all Egyptian citizens, like Long Life or Haya Karima, and a lot of mega projects related to infrastructure and upgrading, and also building presented to especially building and house for the need and poor in every governor. And also the key strategic point in Egypt tries all time to attract more foreign investment. And more foreign investment needs more policy, and reducing bureaucracy are key unlocking higher inflow in order to Egypt to be more hub for more foreign investment.
Mr. Kattab, foreign investment still remains below Egypt's potential. So what offers does the OECD have for supporting Egypt's economic development?
Yes, in order to lead Egypt to be more open market for and the hub market for foreign investment, a lot of amendments related to new investment law, and also the commercial, the very easy way to start to open new commercial registers and tax cards, and some exemption from the tax in the tax. And stop double taxation, and Egypt will be a member in COMESA, and Egypt will be a member in BRICS. This is open a new market for African country and ASEAN country, and in the same time Egypt is trying all time to support and to open a market for all GCC countries like Kattab, like Saudi Arabia, like Arab Emirates, and all this country invested already in North Costa, and invested already in new Suez Corridor and new Canal District area, and also it's a great transition to the private sector to invest more in Egypt, even if it's a private sector from Egypt, Egyptian businessman or Arab businessman, and I think the current policy is clearly aimed to expand its role significantly. And I think all the advantage presented to the private sector to invest more and more, and to all foreign investors to come and invest in Egypt. Important also point, reform success depends on implementation strength, speed, bureaucracy reduction, access to finance, and still some risks like the global shock, debt pressures, and the inflation also rate. Policy direction is clear, but execution will determine success. The meeting between business seats today and the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development leaders sent a strong signal. Egypt is positioning itself as a reform-driven, investment-ready economy. The challenge now is translating this policy into tangible results, more jobs, higher productivity, and sustainable growth. Sustainable growth is the main aim for the government on all mega projects we start. We should be sustainable projects and sustainable industry. Egypt entering a new phase where success will depend not only reform decisions but on reform delivery. Turns into, I think, as a recent statistical and efficient growth and financial institution sent a lot of key positive message about the Egyptian reform that takes place in Egypt. And I think Egypt today is really 100% for a lot of new industries, especially in the field of car industry, in the field of liquid gas, in the field of agriculture, and Egypt aims to be a hub for foreign direct investment in all many different states.
So, Mr. Ahmed, Egypt has lost almost or roughly $10 billion in Suez Canal revenues due to the tensions and escalation in the Red Sea. So, how do you expect this loss or the situation in general if that revenue stream remains disrupted for another year? And what alternative sources can fill the gap?
Yes, today President Sisi sent a message to the world Egypt lose more than $10 billion from the revenue of the new Suez Canal corridor and the new Suez Canal logistics area, and this is a huge amount of money Egypt lost this year, starting from the Gaza war and the Iran and USA war. And this is reflects the Egypt and the Sisi and all the government and all the cabinet effort in order to make saving in cost saving in another expenses in order to let these losses very easy to all Egyptian citizens and all the world. And this is reflects a very important role of Suez Canal corridor as a main logistics area to the world, helping and supporting the trade between Egypt and Africa and Europe and Egypt and Africa and also China and all the country in Asia, in Russia. And this is reflects a very effective role of Suez Canal corridor and Suez Canal logistics area. And the income of Suez Canal should come back to the normal size after the stop the Iran war and open the Strait of Hormuz, because Egypt lost more and more once the Strait of Hormuz is still closed. Once the Strait of Hormuz opened, as President Trump promised to the world, the income of Suez Canal will go back to the normal, and all the income of Suez Canal corridor will support the Egyptian government in order to support more the subsidy and giving more subsidies to Egyptian citizens, and also starting a new mega project related to the government, especially the services the government produced in the Minister of Health, Minister of Higher Education, Minister of Education, and the Minister of Finance in order to support every government in Egypt by new infrastructure, a new hospital, the new education, the new university, and this is the main role of the government. The government collect all money in order to spend in governmental services presented to every Egyptian citizen. But nowadays we face some problem in collection of new Suez Canal revenue because of the Iran and USA war and the close of the Strait of Hormuz. And this is also not affecting only Egypt, but affects all the international community and the international world, because this is stop the logistics of liquid gas from all these countries to Europe and also to Russia and to China and all the countries in the world face inflation rate related to the increase in the price of fuel and oil and the gas. And this will lead to more inflation rate. And I hope as soon as possible we make a settlement of the war between Iran and USA, and the Strait of Hormuz will be opened again, and the revenue of the new Suez Canal corridor will go back again until it's $15 per year, because we make a lot of upgrading to new Suez Canal corridor infrastructure and all ports in Port Said and the Riyadh and Sofna, and all these ports will support the trade between Egypt and Africa to the international community and to all countries in the world.
Yes, Mr. Ahmed, the President Sisi says that proactive measures have earned praise from international financial institutions. So how do you see this praise from the different financial institutions worldwide?
Yes, different financial institutions like International Monetary Fund and Fitch and Standard & Poor's sent up a positive report on Egypt is stable 100%. Egypt is very strong military and very strong economically at the same time. We have Egyptian military force able to protect our borders from any threat, and Egypt is the main stable country in the Middle East and as an Arab country nowadays, especially after the war between Iran and the OGC country. And Egypt will still protect itself from any threat, protect itself also from any economic threat or any military threat, and this will be a main advantage point for Egypt to be up and open for more foreign direct investment. And also we have a flexible amount of exchange rate between Egyptian pound and the euro or Egyptian pound and dollar, and we have surplus in the central bank more than $52 billion, and we have new recovery of oil and gas offshore, especially in the Prime Minister opening a new one yesterday, and this will lead It to be a hub for a lot of mega industry like petrochemical industry, and nowadays all the key countries like Canada, like USA, face the challenge of the shortage in petrochemical industry, especially after the war of Iran and stop the supply of ammonia and green ammonia from United Arab Emirates to all the countries like Canada, for example, and price of petrochemical increased by more than 60%. And Egypt nowadays more advanced in this point, and our export of petrochemical industry from the Mediterranean Sea will increase to Europe and support the world in this critical site. So Egypt nowadays tries to build a new industry in a different field, and day by day we launch more industries because it's at the same time increase and maximize our use of raw material and creating jobs, and this is also our aim, and increase export volume because we aim to make a lot of export products to the international world in order to increase our income by US dollars or euro.
So Corman praised Egypt's role in the Middle East stability given the war in Gaza and tensions with Iran and the tensions in the Red Sea. So what tangible economic benefits can Egypt expect from the OECD in return for its geopolitical cooperation?
Yes, OECD will support Egypt as advisor, but OECD improve Egypt's international credibility and investor confidence, and this is the main target why we are go to OECD, and because OECD will support Egypt internationally more than internally. So I think Egypt will take the advice from OECD in order to improve tax policy, transparency, governance, anti-corruption, investment framework, and all these goals will apply to Egypt. And I think OECD, the General Secretary, sent thank you much to see today in the meeting, because we apply all the process OECD requested from Egypt. I think all the need from Egypt now is more support to the private sector and more support to SME projects in order to maximizing the profitability of the Egyptian income. I think this meeting also sends a clear signal to the global market that Egypt is serious about reform policy and credibility and positioning itself as a competitive investment hub in the region, and this is the main goal why we meet with the OECD. And also contribution of the private sector for 65% of the total economic activity, and this is also accepted the percentage to the private sector to invest more and to working together with the Egyptian government in order to increase our income from the Egyptian economy.
So, Mr. Ahmed, what specific reform priority will the OECD push Egypt hardest on in the coming year?
I think the industry sector is a very effective sector. At the same time, the tourist sector, because tourists we have already a lot of hotels starting in Sharm el-Sheikh, in Hurghada, in Aswan, in Luxor, and also in Giza after the new Grand Museum opening. And Egypt will be a hub for the tourist sector. Why? Because Egypt is safe 100% and is stable 100%. So all the Arab in the region come and enjoy the summer in North Costa, and I'm here to send a message: please come and invest your summer in North Costa, because we are saving 100% and the life is stable, and all you need from the healthcare, from the education, from to start also business, we are ready 100%. So you need come to enjoy your accommodation in the summer, and at the same time we can do business together. So it will be a mission for holiday and the mission for business in Egypt. So this is we are looking. We are trying to send in to all Arab regions, especially Saudi Arabian citizens and the United Arab citizens and Qatar and the Kuwait, because nowadays all this Arab city aims to invest in Egypt and aims to also have a long accommodation in the coming summer in Egypt, because Egypt is safe 100% from any threat, especially the time of war between Iran and USA.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmed Kattab, the economic expert, for your information and insight. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a short break and we'll be right back. Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli asserted that Egypt continues its efforts to build a more competitive